Hi, I'm Kenny Anderson, Director of Multicultural Affairs for the City of Huntsville, and welcome to Impact. Each week we bring you information about great things that are happening in our city, and today will be no different. You know, one of the great things I get to do as a part of my job is to meet all kinds of cool people in this community doing some cool cultural things. And today we're going to talk about a very special event that's going to take place in just a short period of time, so we hope that you'll be on board for that. The One Africa, One Nation Cultural Festival is going to take place here in just a few days. And my guests today are individuals who are part of the planning process in order to make this happen. First of all, I'll introduce Kay Banks. She's the festival chair. How you doing, Kay?
Doing all right, doing okay.
Good to have you, and looking forward to talking about all this great information that you have to share. And what a beautiful blouse that you have on.
Well, thank you.
Kind of fits in with the theme of what we're talking about.
Yes.
Thomas Buchanan is vendor coordinator, and of course that's a big part of any festival, so you definitely want to be able to have an opportunity to share with individuals about how they can be a part of that as well. That's always one of the draws of festivals, the fact that people can actually walk up to people in a market environment and actually do business with them.
And we're looking forward to it, and all the vendors are excited about the event. So we're very excited about the Cultural Festival.
All right, outstanding. And Dr. Aisha Fields is volunteer coordinator. Welcome to the broadcast.
Thank you so much for having me.
So it's interesting, you know, everybody has their role, and of course I'm sure that's why you all are here today, because you make up a team of individuals who are moving this process forward. And we know, Aisha, that volunteers really are the heart and soul of these kinds of operations. You can't get this done without a cadre of volunteers to be with you. So I'm glad you're here to talk about that piece of this process.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so tell us about this festival. Why is it happening? Who came up with the idea? And why is this a good thing for the city of Huntsville?
Awesome. Well, the festival, the whole point of it is to showcase all of the wonderful things and assets that local talent has to offer, and the local businesses, and to broadcast it and show it to the community so that they're more aware, and to also bring about more visibility around all of the vendors and the performers as well. So.
And you've specifically shaped it in the context of calling it One Africa, One Nation. I wonder what the significance of that is.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think the theme is so important, because what we really want to do with the cultural festival is show the unity of African culture. Oftentimes when people think about Africa or African culture, you have a very narrow idea of what that means or what that looks like. And what we want to do through the cultural festival is really be able to show that African culture is blues music. African culture is creative dance. African culture is West African traditional dance, or a Southern African, spiritual song. But there's such an array of what it means to be African culture, and we really want to be able to display that during the cultural fair.
And of course, the mark of African culture sits upon the entire landscape of the planet. Mm-hmm. The idea that everything originated from there, and the idea that the kinds of experiences that people have now, whether we're talking about language, dress, music, food, I mean, the whole 9 yards, we can really see the influence of African culture across the board. So I'm sure that's an equally important part of why this festival is happening.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think it's important that you say that, because oftentimes that's not put out in the forefront about African culture and all of the diversity that it has brought to humanity itself. And to be able to showcase that right here in Huntsville, I think is so significant. And it's going to be a very exciting event to be able to show the diversity of African culture, at the Cultural Festival.
Yeah. I still hear people refer to Africa as a country, which always kind of causes me to, grimace a little bit,
Sure.
But I realize it's an educational opportunity at the same time. Yeah. But there really is a lot of growth to do in terms of educating people and helping them understand. Yeah. I saw a great visual recently. They had, it was a flyer, and it had like 8 to 10 cities in Africa. And the modernization of those cities was profound in light of what people often believe Africa to be.
Right.
So perception is reality, and it's important that you shape the images of what people are exposed to. And I'm sure that this is another message that you want to convey through this cultural festival.
Yeah, for sure. And that's part of the work that the nonprofit that we're a part of that is spearheading the festival along with the Office of Multicultural Affairs is the All African People Development and Empowerment Project, which Dr. Aisha Fields is the director of. And we actually do work in Africa, in Sierra Leone. We have a number of different projects, which I'm sure she can speak more elaborately on about some of the things that we do and what are some of the needs for the cultural festival to be able to show, the work that's happening, but the connection that is how important it is for us to be aware and educate ourselves about the work that's happening, the culture, and how we can contribute to one another on both sides of that equation.
And I would love for Aisha to expound on that. I know the first few times she shared that information with me, it was very exciting. And it would be great to get a little bit of an update right now about what's going on. First of all, tell the audience, and then where are you right now with the process?
Sure, I really appreciate the opportunity to do that because I'm really excited about the work that we do in the All African Peoples Development and Empowerment Project. That's a mouthful, so we say AAPDEP for short. But AAPDEP is a nonprofit organization that organizes African skilled people, nurses, doctors, engineers, teachers, electricians, farmers, agricultural specialists. And what we do is we organize ourselves to be able to coordinate development projects in Africa and in African communities throughout the world. We focus in 3 areas: agriculture, education, and healthcare. And since about 2007, we've had dozens of really dynamic projects on the continent of Africa. Specifically, we focused a lot on clean water, where we've built clean water systems in communities that prior to our work there had been drinking from unsanitary wells or even from the swamps. We've done a lot of work around infant and maternal health, where prior to the Ebola outbreak in Sierra Leone, we had been operating a maternity clinic where we've delivered something like 3,000 babies without any death of mother or child. And that is significant because in Sierra Leone, something like 1 in 8 women are at risk of dying in childbirth. 7 women die a day in childbirth in Sierra Leone. So, we've done some really great work around that, training traditional birth attendants, working with midwives and other healthcare professionals to really try to offer women an opportunity to have a safe delivery. We've also done a lot of work in community agriculture. We've have multi-acre cassava farms and vegetable farms. Also in the U.S., we've done a lot of work around community gardening. We actually have a community garden collective right here in Huntsville, where several families come together every season, and we plant and we help each other pull the weeds and harvest and then eat the food, and we have community gardens in Houston and in Philadelphia, and we're building now in Sweden, really trying to work primarily in African immigrant communities in Sweden. So we've been doing a lot of really important work, and we're really happy to have the opportunity to have our headquarters recently move here to Huntsville. And we're really looking at this cultural festival as an opportunity to get the word out about the great work we do and to win as many people as we can to support us.
Yeah, I've always had a lot of respect for you guys and the work that you've done. Aisha wouldn't say this, but she's a very heavy sister, has some heavy duty academic credentials, and has taken that. The reason I'm saying that is because you've taken that and not internalized it for yourself. You've actually shared it with the world. And I think that's extremely important. I think you've led a great example as far as that's concerned, and certainly it's admirable that you would do that. A lot of people go to school, they get higher education degrees, and it becomes about them. But you're so other-serving and not other-centered and out there to really serve the community and the world community, which is an even more admirable thing. And I know that's the gist of the work that you all have been involved in for so long. So we appreciate you for that, and are honored to be able to highlight that information on this broadcast as well. I always talk about Huntsville as being a gem for more than just its technology, and more than its space program.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And so get tongue-tied even thinking about it. But it's just a wonderful thing to know that so many good things happen in our community, and we really need to work on shining the light on those things, which is why we're talking about this today. So this festival takes place when and where, and how can people get involved?
Go ahead.
October 3rd, Big Springs Park East from 10 to 5. And we even meet every Tuesday at 6:30 at the Richard Shower Center for planning meetings and to talk about, updates and what we're doing and what's going on and how people can get involved. We need volunteers. We need, you can come out and contact us at 256-294-1775 or email us at OAON Cultural Fest is that right?
That's not right.
It's not right? What is it?
It's OAON Huntsville at gmail.com.
There we go. Yeah.
Gotta let the festival chair jump
Yeah,
in.
you gotta let the
Thank
festival chair. Let the
Tail.
festival chair.
That's what she's the chair.
Yeah, sometimes you just move to the side. Just let her do it too.
So we also have a blog as well that has all the contact information and forms if you'd like to be a vendor or performer, and that is oaonculturefest.blogspot.com. And so you can reach us there, contact us. We would love as much interaction and support as possible. So.
As you get closer to these kinds of events, you spend a lot of time thinking about it, planning it, talking about it, just kind of imagining what it will be like. And then before you know it, it's here.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much where you are right now.
Yeah.
It's kind of like it's here, so it's time to really execute and experience the thing. So I want each of you just briefly to tell those that are listening, why should they take time out of their schedule and come out and be a part of this? I mean, this is a very, very meaningful and substantive event that's going to be lots of fun and lots of experience, lots of networking, lots of opportunity. But just each one of you, just kind of go down the line. We'll start with the festival's chair, Kay, and tell people why they should be involved in this process.
I think to be involved in this process would mean that you're supporting a much larger movement, and a piece of that movement is the education part of it, to bring about awareness of what African culture is and what that means, and to educate children of all ethnicities to realize the importance of embracing the adversity and learning your culture and history. And we're going to have a kids village, that's what we're calling it, to where kids will be able to go with their parents and learn different things about African culture, but that's more interactive, like making crafts or doing games or African drums, doing things like that. And the education piece and the interaction piece is something that I'm really excited about.
Yeah, so it's inclusive. Parents don't have to think about, I need to get a babysitter or something. They can actually bring their family out for a family-focused event.
Exactly.
Outstanding.
Yeah, and just to piggyback off what Chair Kay said, I think it's an exciting event. You get to see an array of talent and being showcased, like from Huntsville, from African drumming to capoeira, to you have different vendors, that's going to sell African drumming, that's going to do kid workshops, storytelling, just a number of diverse vendors that would be our food vendors and local food vendors, and really showing how we can, even in a cultural event, how we can help support one another and the businesses around the area and even upcoming businesses that are happening. And I must say that even the cultural festival, even showing how is an extension of like the Uhuru movement and a lot of the work that the Uhuru movement has done, throughout its history, and in terms of really trying to really practically contribute to developing the Black community and to really change conditions as opposed to just talking about it, but really being about the action to showcase our history, showcase our talents, and really contribute to changing some of the things that are negative in our community.
And you've given Aisha 30 seconds to tell us.
Because if you like to have fun,
If
if you are looking for a good time, then you need to be at this cultural festival. You will be so sad if you miss it and your friends have to, tell you about it. So come and be a part of this for a very great Saturday morning.
All right, when?
October 3rd, 10 to 5.
Where?
Big Springs Park, Huntsville, Alabama.
Free.
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 Gotta let people know
Absolutely
that.
free.
And absolutely open to the public. We want everybody who can come to come.
And
Because
we'll even have a stilt walker there.
Well, there'll be lots of activities for people and a lot of fun, certainly. Sounds like fun. And as I always say to people that when we think about culture, sometimes people think that culture is owned by a certain ethnic group. Everybody has a culture. Everybody has an identity. Everybody has roots that they can share and that they can learn from and that they can appreciate. And so this is an open event that anybody can find their place in. And we want people to come out and be a part of it. So thank you very much for being here today. Give us that phone number one more quick time.
256-294-1775.
Yeah, got to let the festival chair do that.
Thank you.
Step back.
Well, thank you for being a part of our program today, and we hope that you join us for our next edition of Impact. As always, I'm Kenny Anderson, and I hope that you have a great day.